It's Afternoon Karak with Aisha Al-Mazmi and Mikhail Atiyah
on Pulse 95.
How you doing, guys? Welcome to the Afternoon Karak. Honestly, there's nothing I really want to do or say except for the fact that tomorrow is going to be the premiere for Spider-Man No Way Home. Yes, I got those tickets booked for tomorrow. My friend keeps snagging me. He's like, listen, bro, you better make sure nothing comes up. You better make sure your whole schedule is free because this movie's coming out tomorrow and it's going to be a banger. All of our theories, all of our discussions, all of the rumors, Tobey Maguire, especially Tobey Maguire, will all be answered tomorrow night at 11 p.m. when I finally sit down at the theaters and watch this movie for all its glory. The hype is real and everyone's definitely excited. But until then, let's talk about what we got for today. Starting off with the, interestingly enough, some sort of like warning from some insider out there who went on Twitter saying, guys, you might need to be a little bit worried about the Grand Theft Auto 6 development. There's some concerns regarding the development of this game and all the expectations you may have, all the excitement you have for this game might not be all that warranted, honestly. He actually says you might be in for a disappointment. What's that about? Interesting, right? Netflix also announced that they are making a live-action Mega Man movie. Well, if already Sega banked on the live-action adaptation of Sonic the Hedgehog, and we got Nintendo going all the way in for a Super Mario animated feature film, then I guess the next step is Mega Man. Why not? Let's talk about it. Also, we are talking about the new DualSense wireless controller colors from PlayStation. Yes, the PlayStation 5 controllers the color roster has been expanded, as well as finally, if you've always wanted to have a console cover besides the white one, now PlayStation is going to be officially releasing their own covers. There's a little bit of backstory behind why this is bittersweet, and just wanted to kind of go into it later this hour. Also, somebody accidentally misplaced the pricing point for an NFT that would cost roughly around $300,000, but winded up costing a lot less. Yikes. Do I feel bad about this person? Well, that will depend on how I feel about NFTs. That and so much more right here on the Afternoon Karak. If you ever feel like you want to join the conversation, don't forget, guys, the text lines are up. 4215, Installment, or do. Let's get into it right now. Coming up next, the Grand Theft Auto 6 rumor.
Speculation, gossip, or hoax. Rumor has it.
This isn't much of a rumor so much as it is sort of insider warning. Okay, so what are we talking about? Grand Theft Auto 6. It's not been officially announced by Rockstar Games whether they are developing it, but it's sort of an open secret. It's obvious that they're in the works. It's been many years since we've heard anything. So much so that they've been really just kind of working on the Grand Theft Auto 5 online and Red Dead Redemption 2 online. But besides that, when a long period of silence happens, everybody kind of figures, yeah, there's probably a new project in the works. So Grand Theft Auto 6 has been sort of the talk of almost every rumor out there for the past couple of years. And we have little bits of, information here and there, but it never feels concrete. Well, here's one interesting insider knowledge. An insider reports that fans may be disappointed with aspects of the Grand Theft Auto 6 development, adding that the development itself has been especially chaotic. He went on Twitter and he said, it was kind of cryptic. He gave three major points. He says that some people don't realize how chaotic the development is. And I can imagine because, with every Grand Theft Auto project, I feel like they've gotten progressively more ambitious. Red Dead Redemption 2, I think, is a reflection of how it's just how much attention to detail and how much time and effort went into creating that very, atmospheric, self-contained world of the Wild West. And now we're returning back to, Grand Theft Auto, a more modernized world with a lot more features involved and mechanics. And I think it's a decade-long of feedback from the community, decade-long demand from fans as to what they expect from a future Grand Theft Auto game. I think I can get what this one talking point means. The next talking point says, I really think there will be disappointment from people for some aspects. It says, of course, not on the graphical side. And this is where maybe, I can see why there's some, personally, I feel concerned about that as well. I mean, when he says that, for fans to be disappointed, is it that if there is a artistic direction in which Rockstar Games is going for? Is it the fact that the campaign will be a lot shorter and there's a much greater focus to the online mode? Because as you know, Grand Theft Auto Online is Rockstar's most lucrative business model. They make a lot of money from it. So I think maybe there could be that trajectory where not a lot of focus on a main story, an offline story experience, but rather to make a lot of the game's experience more multiplayer based. So perhaps that could get fans disappointed. Maybe it's the story or the fact that Grand Theft Auto will lose that edge and comedic touch that everyone knows. It's the satirical touch that all fans know and love about the series. And his final talking point, he says, if the game is announced this year or early 2022, we can be really worried. And I think what this implies is that Rockstar might be pushing Grand Theft Auto 6 a little bit too early. It means like the game is not ready out for the market, and because of that, there could be a lot of crunch culture happening. Is that the word? Crunch? No, I forgot the. But basically, it means that they're pushing their teams or development teams to work on this 24/7. And that's never good because, burnout culture can come out of that and it's pretty toxic. And maybe they're trying to, in some way appease the community and the fan base, because with the recent release of Grand Theft Auto Remastered Trilogy and the review bombs that came out of that, they feel the need to probably announce as soon as they can that yes, we are working on a Grand Theft Auto 6. But the insider says that if they announce it by the end of this year or beginning of 2022, then you should be a bit worried, because that means that Rockstar is probably rushing this game out they're trying to rush it out into the market as soon as possible. And when you rush a video game out into the market, it's probably not a good idea, because you're gonna spend a year or two trying to fix all the things you should have done when you were developing it in the first place. Example, Cyberpunk 2077, that game is still not fixed. To this day, it still has a lot of glaring issues. Battlefield 2042 just came out. People are complaining that it's super buggy and it has a lot of technical issues. And I don't want this to be the case for Rockstar Games. It's bad enough that their reputation's down on the dirt because of their recent release for GTA Remastered Trilogy. But this is an interesting insider warning. I will definitely keep in mind and see if anything Rockstar announces in the coming month or so, and if this insider is really foreshadowing something that we should definitely be concerned about. But until then, we're gonna have to wait and see. Coming up next, we're going to be talking about the PlayStation new product line of colors for their covers, as well as their PS5 controllers, right here on the Afternoon Karak.
Make a hot cuppa and relax. It's Afternoon Karak with Aisha Al-Mazmi and Mikhail Atiyah
on Pulse 95.
I think that one of the, I wouldn't say drawbacks, but the first things everybody noticed about the PS5 was the color. Do you remember when you said, they're definitely going to release a black one, and then obviously they did not?
Yeah.
But apparently, Sony is coming up with something a little bit more creative and basically making sure that every single PS5 owner can somewhat customize their PS5 with a whole set of galaxy-colored covers, and that includes pink and purple. And when I saw that, I'm like, perhaps it's time to get a PS5.
It's long overdue. I thought they would release these product lines much sooner, but I think they were dealing with some legalities because there were third-party companies that were making their own custom designs of the PlayStation 5 cover, and they basically got a cease and desist from Sony and like, no, because I think it's just for this exact reason. They wanted to launch it themselves, have their own official product line, and I'm mesmerized. We got colors such as Midnight Black, Cosmic Red. These already came out a while back, but the new ones are Nova Pink, Starlight Blue, and Galactic Purple. They got some really nice names.
They're really nice names, and they're basically they make sense with the theme they're going, which is, like they said, a galaxy color. And they're also coming up with some controllers as well, so you can match or mix and match with your PS5 cover. Now, here's the thing. Is this the first time, technically, PlayStation does that with their PlayStations? Because what I know is that usually when it comes to PlayStations, is that they would release, limited edition colors, specifically. It's like a whole set of PS5s that are, previous PlayStations, that are a specific color. Yeah. But it's the customizability. Is that a whole new thing with Sony?
I think with the console covers themselves, yes, this is the new this is something new, because most of the time, if you wanted something customizable, you'd have to buy the limited edition of that console.
Exactly, which is why I'm thinking it's smart of them. It's about time as well, because if you compare it to the Nintendo Switch, for example, you also need to buy an entire thing, but also because what's the color that changes or the differences or the customizability within a Switch, for example, is the actual Joy-Cons. And those, even though some people claim that the price point is quite high, this is where you can easily customize it. So you're not really buying an entire full console just to customize it. So I'm loving this, especially since, like you said, there's a whole emergence of third-party stores, whether even on Etsy itself. I've seen people sell stickers and whatnot, even covers for the Switch and other consoles. Basically, it's available, so it's only about time that Sony takes advantage of that and releases their own official covers as well.
I'm definitely want to get my hands on the Midnight Black. I just always like the PlayStation being just a black console, so hopefully whenever Geekay or whatever store nearby sells it, I'm going to get my hands on it very soon. Yes. Coming up next, Netflix announced that they are working on a live-action Mega Man. Pretty
interesting. Cool. Very cool as well. Let's talk about that coming up next, right here on the Afternoon Karak.
Make a hot cuppa and relax. It's Afternoon Karak with Aisha Al-Mazmi and Mikhail Atiyah
on Pulse 95.
Just yesterday, you were mentioning or talking about how Netflix does not shy away from basically adapting everything and turning them into a live action. And apparently they have a specific project on the horizon.
Yes, so besides all of the other adaptations they've announced, such as Tomb Raider, Resident Evil, their success with The Witcher and the Castlevania animated series, now they're banking on a Capcom intellectual property, Mega Man.
Now here's the thing. I think that Mega Man is really cool, part of all of our childhoods, but I wouldn't say it's dead. I mean, every single character, every single IP out there that exists in the world, there's always at least a bunch of people who follow it religiously. But I feel like I miss it very much. So maybe this is smart, Netflix, to kind of be like, let's tap into something that a lot of people might have forgotten about and would love to see very much.
I mean, at this point, you got Nintendo coming out with Super Mario, Sega with Sonic, and now Capcom wants to bank in on it as well. Mega Man is an iconic character, and I don't see the reason why they shouldn't adapt it. But as much as the other details of how long this movie's been in the work or when it might release, still there are no information about it. But as some have pointed out, Netflix got to see sort of like a first look, first impression with the entertainment studio that's dealing with it, Churnin Entertainment. And because of that first impression, Netflix saw something that they really liked and basically greenlit the project.
Now, no offense to Netflix, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is something that the public would also enjoy, but they probably saw something in it that they were like, yes, this is worth investing in, especially since Netflix has a first look deal with Churnin, which, just like Mikhail said, that means that they basically have the ability to look into the project and say, this is worth the money that you're putting into it. And especially since what happened with Cowboy Bebop just like 2 days ago over the weekend, which came as a massive surprise, it just shows that, yes, they will greenlit nearly anything, but at the same time, no show is safe from being cut out. Let's take a quick short break. We've got to these sports headlines, and we're going to be talking about all kinds of things, including TikTok and perhaps other stuff, such as the Fantastic Beasts and so much more, right here on the Afternoon Karak.
Make a hot cuppa and relax. It's Afternoon Karak with Aisha Al-Mazmi and Mikhail Atiyah.
On Pulse 95.
I think everybody is trying to do something similar to Spotify Wrapped. Have you seen the one from Instagram?
No, I haven't.
There's one from Instagram Stories. There's one on Snapchat that has been ongoing for the past 2-3 years. And TikTok is also doing a 2021 music recap, and it's saying that it's getting even better at creating billion listen mega hits. And it goes back to what we spoke about when TikTok kind of announced, or at least I believe some people noticed, that there is sort of a correlation between the songs that go viral on TikTok and the songs that end up being at the top of the Billboard.
Yeah, TikTok has become a beast in the entertainment industry. If anything, a lot of indie music creators, composers, fan edits would wind up getting viral and getting their huge hits on Spotify.
Yeah.
All sorts of success stories come from that, and it's just getting bigger and bigger. The amount of viewership has almost increased, nearly doubled since 2020, since last year, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon.
Yes, and it's a very, very interesting phenomenon. I don't feel that we have seen something similar on other social media platforms, whether it's Instagram or it's Twitter. Especially I'm talking about the sort of, let's say, social media platforms that are similar to TikTok. I mean, it's kind of unique for now, as usual, for now, until something breaks through. Because in comparison, we've got Instagram, which is very picture and video based, even though, yes, there is some audio, but then adding music, I mean, especially here in the UAE and other regions, is still somewhat new. I believe it started only maybe a year ago or a year and a half ago. Twitter obviously does not have any audio sort of thing. They do have the ability to start spaces, which is sort of like a way to speak and talk. So it's very unique in its position, and it's very interesting to see this phenomenon, and I love it very, very much. According to its report, around 430 songs managed to exceed the 1 billion video views on the platform this year.
My God, TikTok has really opened the doors for new artists and content creators, and I just feel bad for the other social media platforms. They just are not able to hit those numbers. You know?
Again, let's think about it. TikTok used to be Musical.ly before.
Yeah.
And Musical.ly was, even though it existed since 2017, 2016, I believe.
We all tried to pretend it didn't exist.
Exactly. And then something happened in late 2019, and then the pandemic kind of uplifted it even more than before, and for some reason that created some sort of interest within that social media platform. And this just means that anything can happen within that world of social media platforms. And there has been a push for a lot of new social media platforms. You can kind of say there was a lag between since Twitter was introduced / Instagram around that era up until TikTok. We haven't really seen any new social media platform. But now we have another one. So yes, it's hard to break through, but at the same time, it's easier than you might think it is. It's all about hitting those right spots. So congratulations to TikTok, which also boasts, now this is very interesting, over 175 trending TikTok songs, making it to the Billboard Top 100. So it's successful from many aspects, and it's also showing a very interesting phenomenon.
If anything, to all those who create content on TikTok, I think we'll all put on our New Year resolution. Hopefully, one of our videos gets viral. Just once.
Just once.
I want to get 1 million views on one of my videos.
It can happen. It can easily happen. I believe Hani from Future Talk, his videos have gone viral several times.
Kudos to him, yeah.
Maybe you should take some lessons from him. He has some secrets.
I got to use more of those musics from TikTok, the trending music. I don't do that, weirdly enough.
Maybe. I think, Mikhail, you need to do some market research and work on it.
Yep.
And wish you good luck on this upcoming year on TikTok. Coming up next, let's talk about the new Fantastic Beasts, the Secrets of Dumbledore trailer showing or giving us a first look of Mads Mikkelsen as Grindelwald. Coming up next right here on the Afternoon Karak.
Make a hot cuppa and relax. It's Afternoon Karak with Aisha Al-Mazmi and Mikhail Atiyah
on Pulse 95.
The new Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore trailer shows us the first look of Mads Mikkelsen as Grindelwald. And all I can say is that I am angry. I am furious.
Yeah, it is such a...
Why did it take them so long to cast him as Grindelwald? He's so perfect. He is just so natural to him.
No offense to Johnny Depp.
Exactly, but it was like this role was created for this person. Where was Warner Brothers this entire time?
Yeah, I'm looking at Johnny Depp's design from the previous movie, and he just was over the top. You know, he had a weird eye and spiky white hair, and he just looked over the top. You know, but this one This design is much cleaner. It feels right for this character. It feels
sinister, and that's the thing that Mads can embody very well. And I'm not saying that is the only role he can do, but he has the ability to just glare at you, and you'd be like, I'm terrified. I'm khalas, I'm gone. So that is exactly the type of feel that was missing in the previous Fantastic Beast movies, especially since, like you said, Johnny Depp was a little bit over the top. Again, I'm not sure if it was his idea or maybe it was costume, maybe it's the director, maybe whoever it is.
Rowling.
I don't think so. I don't think she's that involved in the movies for quite a while now. Even the previous movies, she was involved, but to an extent. I think when it comes to author involvement, of course, it depends on their contract and whatnot. But I feel like it's only like a handful of authors that actually have the say and ability to make those big decisions. For example, Neil Gaiman and his upcoming movies and TV shows. For example, we have The Sandman that is still coming very soon, and he has the ability to basically be involved with the decision making. But beyond that, I don't think a lot of authors do, and I don't think J.K. Rowling does have that authority.
Despite that, looking at the trailer, I've always been indifferent about the Fantastic Beast films. But Mads Mikkelsen. Seeing Dumbledore a little bit more involved in this story, I do feel like this one has high stakes. It looks a little bit more action-oriented. The two movies, especially the second one, suffered from this really convoluted story. It was very incohesive. If you ever watched that film, and a lot of people complain about it. I hope that with this movie they can somewhat fix that. Despite how exciting this trailer looks and promising what this movie is coming out to be, it does definitely look like just a full damage control from Warner Bros. And everyone involved. But can it fix what it damaged long ago? And could the fans ever forgive the mishaps here and there? Are we gonna forgive are we gonna forget Johnny Depp, or is Mads Mikkelsen really gonna steal the show? We won't know until the release of this movie. It's coming out pretty soon, April 22nd, April 15th, 2022.
The thing is, because this movie is a trilogy, I think it might be a little bit too late. If it was like maybe 5, 6, 7 movies in a series, I'd be like, yeah, they have the time to flesh them out further. But if you think about it, we've had 3 Grindelwalds so far. We had 3 of them. I understand that the first one was a disguise. I get it. But still, having to switch actors like that, I understand that even the reason why they switched out Johnny Depp wasn't even because of, it wasn't because we just decided to change the thing. But no, it's because of controversy. So if Johnny Depp wasn't surrounded by controversy, you probably would have still seen his version of Grindelwald, which honestly is a world I do not want to live in, because then we would have missed out on Mads Mikkelsen.
Guys, Harry Potter fans out there, text us 4215 installment. You guys are the true critics. Have you watched the trailer for The Secrets of Dumbledore? Do you think it's gonna be everything you hoped for, or is it just too late? You know, we'll have to wait until this movie comes out. This is probably the first time I'll watch it in theaters, because the last movies I never bothered. I just forgot. I'm like, wait, that movie came out?
I watched the first one in the theater because I was like, oh my God, something new from the Harry Potter world. And then it was just, I could have watched it at home. The second one, I was like, okay, I missed out. Let's watch it. I was 5 minutes in and I got bored of it. But let's see what happens with this upcoming iteration, and let's see what we're going to be talking about next, and that is some NFTs. Yes, we've been talking a lot about them, but this one is kind of a little bit funny or sad, not for us, but for them, because a Bored Ape NFT that was supposed to sell for $300,000 was accidentally sold for $3,000 because of a misplaced decimal point. Coming up next, right here on the Afternoon Karak.
Make a hot cuppa and relax. It's Afternoon Karak with Aisha Al-Mazmi and Mikhail Atiyah
on Pulse 95.
Imagine you selling something and you're so happy about managing to sell it. You're boasting about it. You're like, look at what I did. I'm selling this and it's for a big amount of money. And you're proud of yourself, only to realize a little bit too late that you accidentally sold it for way much less than you actually wanted to sell it for, because you accidentally put the comma or the decimal point in the wrong place, because that is exactly what happened when a Bored Ape NFT sold for $3,000 instead of $300,000.
Now, the NFT owner, Max or Max Not, listed the NFT for sale on Saturday, and it was supposed to go for 75 Ethereum, which was roughly $300,000. But instead of 75 Ethereum, it was 0.75 Ethereum, which was roughly $3,000. And he didn't realize it until it was too late. When he was talking with CNET, he said that I list a lot of items every day and I just wasn't paying attention properly. I instantly saw the error as my finger clicked the mouse, but a bot sent a transaction with over 8 Ethereum, which is $34,000, and it was instantly sniped before I could click cancel. And just like that, boom, $250,000 was lost.
297,000.
Well, the bot bought it for 34,000. It went for 3,000. Somebody, a bot bought it for yeah.
So again, still a large amount of money that was lost.
Hurts. It really hurts.
It hurts a lot. And the thing is, although this is not uncommon, this has happened a lot of times. I mean, human error has existed since the dawn of time. But here's the thing, and that goes back to the whole thing with NFTs being unregulated, is that in the world of finance and banking, for example, we have the usual fat fingers kind of issue where you accidentally move a decimal, accidentally add an extra zero, which is what happened with Deutsche Bank a couple of years ago, all the way back in 2015, when they accidentally sent 6 billion to a hedge fund. And because it was regulated, they could just simply send that money back. You know, because they had no right to it. It was a mistake. Obviously, there's lots of clauses and contracts, etc. that meant that that person would have to send the money back. But because NFTs are unregulated, he has absolutely no right, and that goes basically Max has absolutely no right, despite the fact that it was a mistake, to get back the money that he intended to sell it for.
I'm sure it's eating him up in the inside. It's a really bad business decision. I want to feel bad, but my stance with NFTs are still very, wishy-washy. I just wish it wasn't these apes as the multi-million dollar NFTs that are out there in the market. It's just I wish it was more intricate art that actually speaks for something.
Actually, there is plenty of art that speaks for something. Lots of independent artists are selling their own art as NFTs and whatnot, but it still goes back to, this is one of the main reasons why I myself am against it, is because it's so unregulated. And even if it is regulated, I still would be against it because of the ecological issues and problems that, come along with NFTs. You might say this is the same case with cryptocurrency in general. So it's a whole gray area, lots of things that need to be talked about, but NFTs are something I personally that are not my cup of tea. My cup of tea is right here. This happens to be some green tea. Coming up next, that was a joke, Mikhail.
I loved it. That was great.
You were not laughing.
No,
You were not. You know what? I'm upset now.
No.
I need a break before we move on to...
It was worth a grin. That was...
Wow. You know what? Fair enough. As upset as I am, it's fair. It's all about subjectivity, etc. And that's why we believe the Bored Ape NFTs are not it. Absolutely not. I think that's more objective than subjective, despite what the celebrities are doing. Let's take a quick break for us to gather ourselves and prepare you for our last segment before we head off and give the baton over to Big Hassan Anas Schofield on Yalla Home. So stay tuned and stay locked to Pulse 95.
It's almost 5 p.m.
That was Afternoon Karak. For dessert,
Aisha and Mikhail suggest...
Well, first of all, our biggest and most important suggestion is for you guys to check out our podcast. And the reason why we say this is because we have some cool things to say across the hour, and then you might have missed out on it. So for you to catch up with our interesting debates and our rants, and Mikhail disappointing me one more time, you can always check out our podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, and that includes Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Rami, SoundCloud. Just search up The Afternoon Karak and you will find us there. You can search up any of Pulse 95 Radio's shows and you'll find them there as well. Also, you can come up and subscribe, like, and comment on our videos on YouTube. Just search up Pulse 95 Radio and you will find us. And now we make way for Mikhail's suggestion.
So it's a very simple suggestion. Maybe you guys don't know this, but most delivery services, even transportation services like Uber and Careem, provide a tipping feature. And 100% of that money goes directly to the rider or the driver himself. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I feel bad when I order from, those food delivery services. And I noticed that the delivery man is going to be driving 30-40 minutes just to bring my order. Yeah. And I just feel like I become obligated to tip the rider. Mm-hmm. And so my suggestion to you guys, if you ever see like the rider driving very long distances for your order, it doesn't hurt to throw in 5, 10, 20 dirhams. Believe me, it makes their day.
Absolutely, especially since all kinds of delivery services have been making it a little bit more accessible to send a tip to your driver. For example, Talaba did say that they do not take any percentage from the tip you send them, even though I don't like the fact that it's restricted. I think it's unfair for them to do that. I think it should be up to the person to send them a tip. If they want to give them more, give them less, it's all up to them. But yeah, it's a good way to incorporate that. And Mikhail is absolutely right. Always try your bestest. I know it does not exist, the word does not exist, but your bestest in tipping those lovely people who basically keep us going, to be honest. They make our world go round. So make sure you show your appreciation towards them.
A little small gesture of kindness goes a long way. And that is it, guys, for this hour. Thank you so much for tuning in. We got Yellow Home right now, Anna Schofield and Big Hass keeping you guys busy from 5 till 8 o'clock. And don't worry, we're going to be back here again, same time, same vibes, only here on Pulse 95.
If you liked this episode of Afternoon Karak, drop a like and subscribe.
Pulse 95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.